Hello and welcome back to the Sports Babble. I don't know what episode this is now. I think it's about 7 or 8.
Could be.
I'm not sure, but welcome back, everyone. Thanks for those that took part in our poll, which we'll quickly talk about later on in the show, and for everyone else that has been sort of retweeting and sharing. It's Champions League Wednesday night. The two lads have you here in front of us, but we're watching the Chelsea and Atletico Madrid game just down underneath the camera here. It's just kicked off literally 20 seconds into it. And as we're watching the game in Spain, we're going to start in Spain and with our beloved Oviedo. First thing I want to get out of the way first is not football related. It's just another element of the real Oviedo fans, if that's the right word, or another part of them showing how sometimes amazing they can be. And basically, you've seen what's happened in Mexico and how that's horrible for a lot of people, and a lot of money needs to be raised. Well, with the Oviedo fans and Carlos Slim owning a bit of Oviedo and being from Mexico, they've come together and the club's come together, and what they're doing now is they're auctioning the shirts from the Albacete game, which we'll talk about in 2 seconds, on eBay. I'll get the link for that and I'll stick it on to the video here, and I'll put it on our various social media pages, which you can see and bid for afterwards. But well done, Oviedo. The club again just showing like what it's class. About. Like it is class. Like, and I'm being biased, like, but it is class. We'll talk about the game. Game against Albacete on Sunday evening. Albacete I'm not sure if they were stone last, but they were very close to the bottom three. And I know only a couple of games gone was a 4 or 5, but they hadn't really had a great start to the year. First half there wasn't much action really in it. Like it was a quiet first half, so that both teams were trying to figure each other out. Second half, Oviedo took the lead. David Roja with a free kick whipped in. The ball bounced and it fell to Christian Fernandez, who buried it. Which was you sort of thought watching it then, like, Oviedo would sort of go on here and kick on and win a 2-0, 3-0. Sort of like what happened last week. They won 1-0 last week, but they looked like they could have won 2 or 3-0. They were much more comfortable. And Albacete scored 2 screamers. The first one by Vela. I had it wrote down there, I didn't want to get it wrong. He's out in the left, and he's just about 20 yards out. He cuts inside and curls it in the top bin on the far right. Like, there's no goalkeeper in the world could have saved it. It was if you haven't seen it yet, check it out. It was a brilliant goal. Oviedo go back up the field and hit the bar with Linares with a really good header, really strong header. And literally 2 minutes after that, Albacete take the lead. I did say obviously both goals were screamers. I think this one the goalkeeper could have done better. Juan Carlos and Nets, who I think is quite an alright goalkeeper. The ball is it's hit down the middle in the air, a bit like if you seen the rugby match last night. Karius. Yes. Didn't see that. Well, Juan Carlos was sort of similar to that. Though you would sort of expect him to get something on him. He gets knocked on it and flies into the net. And really after that sort of sucker punch to Oviedo, which it's a bit of I wouldn't say a wake up call because it didn't really need woke up, but it's a bit of a slap, because a win there on Sunday they would have been top of the league. Which I know it was only 5 or 6 games in, but it's really
lost and they ended where?
They ended 12th, which is unfortunate, but
I'm just amazed by how tight that league is.
That's what we said last week, that literally there's only 9 points between top and bottom, and it's still something similar. But yeah, it wasn't great. Not a great result for Oviedo, but they play this Monday night. And there's no Premier League on, there's international breaks. So there's no excuses now for everyone. If you're watching this video, or you hear our podcast, or you see us on Facebook, and you are on Twitter, Monday night, book it in, 8 o'clock, Real Oviedo against Zaragoza. A win for Oviedo could tee them up nicely to go on the rest of the season. But as we've seen last week, you never know what's going to happen in the second division. But again, vamos Oviedo. I'm looking forward to watching it Monday night. It'll be something to chill after work. I really hope they can get the win. We did a poll as well, which we'll cover in the first section of the show here, because we're going to talk about Oviedo. We're going to talk about the poll that we did, and then we're going to really sort of look and preview the big game this weekend, which is something we might do going forward. We might pick a game out for the weekend and look at it and sort of analyse
more detail.
More detail, yeah, and a lot better than what Sky do. So we did a poll, Jake, Did you participate in our poll?
Of course.
You better have. I did the poll up. Maybe I could have worded it a bit better, but we did a poll. We decided to have a look and see who we and who you all thought was the best value signing out of so far this season, out of Mohamed Salah, Alvaro Morata, and Romelu Lukaku. You don't need to tell me who you voted for. I voted for Salah.
Is anyone surprised? But the one ray of light, I suppose, in Liverpool's season has been Mohamed Salah, who's got 6 goals in 10 games, superb record, in 13 appearances for Chelsea. In his previous time in the Premier League, he only managed 2 goals, so he's far surpassed that already. You know?
Yeah, when he went to Chelsea, he was obviously quite young.
True.
He came from Basel, and he maybe didn't get his chance. He's come back to the Premier League after doing quite well at Fiorentina and doing really well at Roma. He worked really well with Edin Dzeko at Roma, and he's come back and now he's flying. Last
year at Roma, 19 goals in 41 games. You know, technically he's a winger. 19 goals is a massive return.
That's the difference. That'll be the three of them. Lukaku and Morata are quite similar. And what I wanted to ask you, and I actually didn't brief Jake on this, which I forgot because I was busy in work, so it's not a bad question, don't worry. What I want to say, if football transfers weren't as mad as they were, right, and you were like only allowed to spend 30 million on a player, that was the most you're allowed to spend, 30 million, and you had 30 million, and you had to pick from one of those three, who would you buy? Who would be the player?
For what club?
No, just if you were the manager of your club. So forget what your club, who's playing for your club now, but you're managing your club and you're thinking, right, we're going to get a striker or a forward here. Yeah. Who do we want?
Well, I suppose there's a number of things going through your mind. Firstly, Mohamed Salah, he has been in the Premier League, it hasn't quite worked out for him, although he was a lot younger. He's just with that doubts, you have those doubts about it. With Alvaro Morata, you have the understanding that he has proved his class at big clubs, Juventus and Real Madrid. With Romelu Lukaku, undoubtedly Everton's best player over the past few seasons. Spoiled Alex Ferguson's last game over Manchester United, which of course I'm delighted about. And definitely one for the Premier League. He suits the Premier League very well. Now, I would have gone for Morata out of the three.
Okay.
Why? Because if you look, for example, last night, if I was the owner of Liverpool, you look last night in their game with Spartak Moscow, they had 16 shots and 6 on target. Now they had 64% possession. They were shot shy completely. You know, they weren't, for the amount of possession that they had, they were not creating or taking the shots needed to really, I suppose, win a game like that.
I 110% agree.
Yeah. You know,
he's the player, and if you haven't seen him, we've got a website now. Thank you very much, Brendan Hagan. I'm going to do my first piece is going to be on Fernando Torres, and I'll talk about that another time. But Alvaro Morata, and I tweeted this the other night, and I said it to Brendan, and I said it to yourself, I think, in the group, that he reminds me of El Nino of Torres, and he is the player that Liverpool could really do with that, with Salah and Mane on one side, Coutinho behind him. If you had a Morata in there,
the difference between Morata and Lukaku is that Morata is a more rounded footballer. I found Lukaku.
You think he's technically better,
superior in every way than Lukaku, I would say. Now, Lukaku is great when his team is in, dominating possession. However, his touch lacks, that precision that'll define, I suppose, separate him from a very good player and a superb player. His touch just isn't quite sharp enough, and I suppose that was proved on although we got the winning goal, and I know people will say that's nonsense, but we will see in the big games that Manchester United play, when he's relied upon, will he be able to deliver that moment, that good touch, that neat football in around the edge of the box that will be needed to beat top teams? Will he be able to deliver on that?
And going by the way you've just spoken there, you don't think he will?
I think he'll get goals for Manchester United, but will he score them against the biggest teams? Will he dominate the leading centre halves in the Premier League and in Europe? I don't think so.
Okay. I as I said, I did vote for Salah, but I absolutely love Alvaro Morata. He's playing for Chelsea, which isn't great. Like,
superb signing, you know, a superb signing who didn't play well against Arsenal, but Arsenal had 3 centre halves, and I suppose he got an education, if that's possible, from an Arsenal defence about what it's like to play in the Premier League, and that, you know, he's marked by Mustafi and Koscielny, who Koscielny was one of the best centre halves in the Premier League. You'd have to agree on an individual level.
When he sorts himself out, yeah, he can be 100%.
But he was non-existent in that game, you know. But then maybe Chelsea as a team weren't just quite as good. Against Stoke City, he was on fire. You know?
He really was. His second goal, especially, and when we talk about Chelsea, we'll obviously have to save some of this because we're talking about Chelsea and Man City and previewing that. But his second goal was just brilliant. I know it was Johnson and it was Fletcher that he ran past, and
that's
now
true.
I can run past one of them.
But having said that, we have to look into the fact that Stoke City this season have had an unbelievable signing at the back, and that is Kurt Zouma. He's been their #1 centre half, and he was missing. Obviously, he couldn't play against his parent club.
Yeah,
he was a massive miss, and they were also without Shawcross.
Another big miss.
Another big miss. You know, the club captain.
Yeah, the
man that I suppose you're relying upon. Okay.
A fellow Babble member, Patrick Renshaw, is dying for Liverpool to sign him.
Shawcross.
Yeah, so everybody knows, Patrick, what you say.
Yeah, interesting. I'm not quite sure he's the answer to Liverpool's problems.
No, I don't want to sign him.
I don't think it's a one-player answer to Liverpool's problems, but we'll look at that.
We're not going to talk about those.
No.
Too many of them. What? What do you want me to say now? It was an interesting result. Mohamed Salah won the poll. And it was interesting. I think maybe I was a wee bit too cheeky in the way I worded it. Value-wise, like Mohamed Salah cost 27 million less than Morata, and 35 million less than Lukaku. So I maybe could have put it like, who's more important or more vital to their team? Like if they're missing from their team, who's more important? They're all equally as important. Like Salah has been brilliant at Liverpool. I've seen him. I've watched every game because I have to, and I've put myself through that pain. But I think we can compensate because we're not flying the way like Chelsea or United are. We can sort of get away a little bit with the fact. I know that sounds. Eden has a new score from 40 yards there. That sounds a bit all what I've just said, but we can get away with maybe not having Salah for a game because we have Mane and we've Coutinho, and they're quite similar. Whereas if you took Morata out, he scored 6 goals with Chelsea this year. But all in the league, 6 and 6. Batshuayi, he scored 4, none in the league. The next one down is Marcos Alonso scored 2 and Pedro scored 2. Lukaku scored 8. I think it's 7 in the league and maybe won the cup or something, or vice versa, whatever it is. It's not vice versa, but something like that. And I think if either of them were to come out of their team would miss them more than we would miss Mohamed Salah.
Morata and Romelu Lukaku were signed to add the cherry on the top of the cake of their teams. Salah's not expected to do that because Liverpool are still missing a few players. They're still missing a quality centre forward that can get the goals that Morata will get, for example, or even Lukaku, who will score many goals in the Premier League. They're missing that, but they're slowly building their team. I totally agree with you that they will deeply miss Alvaro Morata if he gets injured this season, which he will probably at some point. They'll also miss Lukaku, Manchester United, unless there is one certain Zlatan Ibrahimovic who isn't a bad man to deputise.
He's not a bad man to deputise, but we don't know what it's going to be like when he comes back from that injury. But yeah, that's the first part of our video over. As I said, remember, and I'll say it again at the end of the video, Monday night, Oviedo against Zaragoza. He's have no excuse now. And we're going to come back and start our preview on Chelsea v Manchester City. So as I said, we're going to preview the big game of the weekend, and we'll try and hopefully the Premier League will be kind to us, and every weekend there will be a big-ish game for us to look at, or we'll certainly pick. We'll try and get every team in at one point. Surely, we'd like to cover all bases. This week, obviously, it's Chelsea versus Manchester City at Stamford Bridge.
Two teams that have raced into good form at the start of the season.
Yep.
And who have, I suppose, left the rest of us alongside Manchester United wondering, will this be a 3-horse race? Will there be any team who can match them? The difficulty is that at some points throughout the season these teams have to play one another. And this is our first opportunity to see how good they are.
Yeah, it was interesting. On about 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was just seemed to be it was going to be Manchester United and Manchester City. Then everybody realised, actually, hang on, Chelsea are looking quite solid now.
But you see, you can't, I suppose, blame people for having those doubts, those insecurities. Why? Because usually Chelsea have one good season and the next season they're a bottom side team.
Yeah, okay.
You know, so there was that inconsistency across 2 seasons. One season was very strong, the next season wasn't quite as strong. So people had their question marks, but this time they're under Antonio Conte. And those same mistakes that happened 2 years ago won't be happening again.
No, I don't think so. They're very, very strong, I think, Chelsea. Obviously, a lot of the talk around Manchester City was the fact that they can't, not that they can't defend, but they just leave themselves wide open. They came into the game against Liverpool and they were sort of sticking with this 3-5-2 that Pep had tried to bring in, with Danilo, Otamendi and Stones at the back. Company still injured, which hasn't been talked about. Company still injured and only conceded 1 goal in the last 6 games. Even though they won 5-0, but when it was 0-0 and even when it was 1-0 for a couple of quarters in the first half till they scored a second, Liverpool still looked like they could carve Manchester City open. They didn't look balanced. Mendy was supposed to be at left back, but he was playing left forward, almost like he was the furthest man forward at some points. Didn't look like he was ever going to try and come back. Kyle Walker at the other side was either too deep at times or he was far too far forward, and Otamendi was having a nightmare.
Yeah.
But
we'll see Pep Guardiola's now, so nobody can question him as a manager given his record in Barcelona particularly, but also with Bayern Munich, who he was quite successful with. However, he has had now time to put this team together. He said in a number of interviews this season already that they're playing the way that he wants them to play. Well, let's see, will he be saying that after this game on Saturday?
It is interesting that they've gone sort of, I think the last 6 games now they've scored 24 goals and conceded 1.
Superb.
Superb. It's pretty unreal. I think.
But they still cannot defend.
Do you not think so?
I still have major concerns about their defence.
What do you mean they can't defend? As in, the defenders can't defend set pieces, or the team doesn't defend as a unit, or they leave themselves wide open?
It doesn't defend as a unit for a start, but also there seems to be, for me, a massive gap between the midfield and the defence. So at times the defence is completely exposed.
I think they've got better though. Since the Liverpool game, I really to see that 3 in midfield. Fernandinho, De Bruyne and Silva, especially De Bruyne and Silva going forward, it's just frightening.
Yeah, but against these lesser teams, they're going to get all day to go forward because those teams are going to sit back and they're going to be dominating possession. So you need those David Silvas, Kevin De Bruyne, who are superb players, to pinpoint those passes that are needed to carve open a defence that's sitting deep. However, are those players going to track back? Is Fernandinho going to be sitting on his own in front of the likes of Otamendi and under severe pressure with Hazard going forward, Willian perhaps,
Pedro,
Morata, you know, is that going to be the case? If it is, then there's only going to be one winner.
You think Chelsea will beat them?
I didn't quite say that.
City and they have changed formation. They have gone from 3-5-2. They've now sort of seemed to have settled on. The last 3 or 4 games is a 4-3-3 against Palace. Probably because Palace are the poorest team in the league and they knew they were going to get a bundle of goals. Against Palace, they went 4-1-4-1, and it took them a while to break Palace down. But then Leroy Sané scored a brilliant goal. He seems to come into a bit of form, and if you look at their goals, Aguero's got 6, Sterling's got 5. Gabriel Jesus got 4 and Sané's got 3. I think that's only league goals as well.
There's a lot of their players are in good form.
Well, that front 4, like Liverpool, it was all talk before last night's game against Spartak Moscow was the fact that the Fab 4 for Liverpool were now they're all here together and playing together. I don't think it works. To be honest, I don't think you can play all 4 of them together. I just don't think it. I think
it lacks cohesion. It lacks the cohesion needed for I suppose.
I think sort of, we'll not talk about Liverpool too much, but yes, along
those lines. For a good attacking unit, you know, there's just some little panache, a little aspect that's missing.
But I think these 4 have shown that they can really smash goals away and put teams away. Now, I don't know how long, really, minute-wise, all 4 of them on the pitch together. Pep seems to sort of change Sterling and Sané. It'll be interesting to see what he does now that he's no Mendy. Whether he brings Danilo in, who's had big game experience, he's Real Madrid, he's won European Cups, leagues. Whether he brings Danilo back and he keeps him in and he says, you're my left back. Or whether he goes with Delph or something. Or if he wants to get at Man City a bit better than maybe what Danilo can offer, he might go with Leroy Sané, which he has played at wing back before. And then you will have all four of those on the pitch, and it'll be interesting to see.
I don't think, given the question marks that have, and although maybe they have died away at times this season, you said they've improved, they've only conceded 1 goal. The question marks over Manchester City in big games perhaps will leave Pep very wary of playing Leroy Sané at wing back. And I would say going to Stamford Bridge, which is a very difficult place to go, they'll go for a more solid wing back.
You don't think Pep will go out and you think Pep will go out and just try and?
I think Pep will go out with the strongest defence possible. If that's not a paradox, to say that about his teams, and he will let the forward players enjoy themselves.
Aye.
Now, having said that, Chelsea's defence need to be sharp.
Well, we need to talk about Chelsea now. They lost to Burnley, obviously the first game of the season. Didn't look great in that game. Alvaro Morata got his first goal, but they still look sort of like, what's going on here? So they had the whole thing around them. Costa, will he or won't he stay, or what's he going to do? Have they signed enough players? Different things. How long is Eden Hazard going to be out for? Then they played Spurs, and I have this wrote down. He changed it to his lineup against Spurs was 3-4-3, which he seems to have sort of sticking with a little bit now. And they've obviously got Morata in now. They've got Hazard back in, who's back playing tonight and starting.
David Luiz is obviously missing for this game.
Did he get 2 games? Yeah, he missed the last one.
Well, I'm presuming that he'll be missing it. He got a straight red for violent conduct, so is that not 3 games?
Yeah, if it's a straight, I can't remember.
It was a straight red. He had already received a yellow against Arsenal, but the referee went for straight red for his tackling class match. So
he'll be missing. That'll be a miss. They can bring in Rudiger then. Christensen seems to be doing it already. Quite well.
Christensen's doing quite well, but you know this time he's up against Sergio Aguero. This is no Saido Berahino or Mame Biramju for Peter Crouch. This is world class Sergio Aguero.
There's Morata almost just scored there, lads, as we were talking. Do you see Chelsea lining up then? Do you see them putting Rudiger in and going with, well, I think Rudiger will.
I think they'll go for Rudiger. Do you think they'll go for Christensen? Who will they play there? They'll play Rudiger at the back, they'll play Cesar Azpilicueta
and Cahill.
I don't think they'll go for Christensen on this occasion. They'll play Moses and Alonso. It's the
midfield. Now, we talked about briefly Manchester City midfield, which I think is the best in England. They're just frightening. Like you see David Silva's pass the other night where he's not even looking, he chips into the bottom. It was daft.
That's beautiful.
And De Bruyne's goal was brilliant, his first goal of the season. So it'll be interesting with what Conte goes. I think Conte will be happy enough, even though he's at home. I think Conte will be happy enough if he gets a draw, and like sort of stops Man City getting further ahead or something out there. I don't think Conte will come out and be like, let's go daft here. You're not seeing him do rock and roll. That's just not him.
If he doesn't maintain a good level of possession in the opposition half, then there's a risk of Morata becoming isolated.
Yeah.
Which happened against Arsenal.
I think what they'll do is what they've sort of done tonight. I think they'll go with something very similar in midfield. I think they'll have Fabregas in because Fabregas already he hasn't got the greatest pace, but he has a click already with Morata from Spain. And everything. He's a brilliant passer of the ball, and they might need that. They might at times be, and it is Stamford Bridge, I know this mightn't sound right, they might be pinned in a little tiny bit, and they might need an out ball just to send Morata down the channels and away from men.
And then again, Philip, they also need someone, although they've got Kante, they need someone who can just sit there and, I suppose, hold a steady ship. You know, so they need to put in Matic there. Oh wait,
he's at Manchester.
They sold Matic to Manchester United for 40 million.
Well, they have Bakayoko, who
That's a great decision.
I think Bakayoko will probably be better than Matic.
Yeah. At the moment, Matic is doing a very good job.
I
just want to add salt to the wounds of the Chelsea fans who are, I suppose, a little bit reluctant to accept that he's gone.
Okay, and there's 2 of them especially that was probably aimed at there that I'm sure will get a hold of you later. I think with Bakayoko, Fabregas and Kante, they can sort of put it up to Man City in midfield. I think those two boys, Bakayoko and Kante, certainly they'll add a bit of sort of they'll steady it a little bit, and they'll definitely it'll be short
Also
up
like
in the middle.
Bakayoko's energy.
He's full of it.
I just love his drive and determination.
He's full of it. They obviously they work very well together, Kante and Bakayoko, which can.
And Kante and Bakayoko will have their hands full because they're not just playing against one superb playmaker; they're playing against two, De Bruyne and Silva.
And they can bring on Bernardo Silva. They can bring on if Sterling doesn't start. He comes on.
Embarrassment of riches is what they have.
It really is the best assembled. I think 22 Premier League scene. I don't know who can. I know when Chelsea first got all the Russian millions and they bought all around them, they had a really good team, but this team is just, and it's young as well. It's relatively young. It's
to be honest, I think Arsenal have a squad that'll match them.
Jake doesn't really drink too. I don't know what he's been at.
People may laugh,
like I just did.
But Arsenal won't be far away at the end of the season.
From Chelsea?
From the top of the table.
Top of the league. Yes, they'll be 6th, which is not too far away. But Arsenal's not on this week. Or not, we've not been spoken about that much this week. How do you see then, what do you think, how do you see the game going? Who do you think, and by the way, he's managed to crowbar his shirt into the middle of my wall. So he's done well there. What way do you see the game going on Saturday night?
Saturday evening, both teams want to give too much away, but I can see the Stamford Bridge effect coming to the fore for Chelsea. I can see both teams scoring, but I can see Chelsea winning. Why? Because Chelsea and Conte will not have been happy with their performance against Arsenal, and they will want to win this game. And other big teams coming to Stamford Bridge, and they'll want to beat them on this occasion. And let's hope for the league that they do, because an Arsenal fan doesn't want to let go of that invincible record. We want every team beaten as soon as possible.
You going for a home win?
I'm going for a home win, 3-1.
3-1 home. I'm going to go for an away win.
This game could go either.
It's 100% like
superb. I just think Morata's coming into nice form. I think Chelsea will want to amend what happened against Arsenal. But then again, they might be starved. They might not get much of the ball.
I don't think City will thump them. I think there'll be one goal the difference. I think Manchester City will win it. I think it'll be 2-1 maybe. It's good. I obviously looked forward to the Liverpool Arsenal game, the Liverpool Man City game, and the Spurs Chelsea game quite a lot. But this game I'm really as a neutral really cannot wait for it. I think it's going to be a cracking game, and just going to the international break as well, which people it's creeped up on us again. They haven't sort of been talking about it. For either of these teams to land a blow on the other one could be massive, and it can only be Chelsea win. I think will they go? How many points to go behind them then?
Well, if Chelsea win, they go level on points.
Level on points with them, that's right. But if City win, they go 6 in front.
Yeah.
So it's massive that way. Plus you'll have City's neighbours be watching on, hoping that something happens. But
actually, I'm going to change my mind.
Oh, there you go.
I'm going to go for a 2-2.
A 2-2 draw. Fair enough. I think 2-2 draw would be nice. Be good for both of our teams, obviously. But it'd be nice.
I think that's what's just gotten. I think that is just what's come to mind there. I want to draw, and positive energy will make sure that draw happens.
Yes. What should we say? It's Eden Hazard's back. So Eden Hazard, Morata, Pedro, Willian against De Bruyne, Aguero, Jesus, and Sterling or Sané. So looking forward to it.
Superb.
We'll come back with the final section of our video, which is just going to be a Premier League preview, and we're going to go through the games. Plus, we need to talk about our results from last week, because I actually nailed one by a complete fluke.
Brilliant.
We'll talk about that. If you just see my turkey neck there, the way I lean back on the screen, I managed to catch a glimpse of it out of the corner of my eye. Before we continue on, just like I said, thank you very much to the Cambridge Barbershop, Sean and the lads on the Lisburn Road, and Darren Stramillis. If you didn't see it on social media as well, him and his lad Reese were watching it the other day on Sunday, which is quite nice.
Brilliant.
Sean has given us cups, so obviously we thought we'd have a drink and show them off to our fans on our YouTube page. If you're listening to it in podcast, sorry, you'll have to go check out our video to see it. We'll get into the Premier League preview. Full round of fixtures before the stinking international week starts, Jake. So we'll maybe next week talk about how the season's gone so far, because internationals
leaves you tasteless, doesn't it?
Does. What game do you want to start with? The first game of the weekend, Huddersfield v Spurs.
Huddersfield v Spurs. Huddersfield got a very good result last weekend, 0-0 away at at Burnley. They're doing superbly well, and Schindler at the back looks fantastic, I must say. An experienced gentleman who's played a lot in Germany. They brought him over, he's in late 20s, and he's doing a superb job for Huddersfield. Kane got a hat-trick.
We didn't even talk about him, and a lot
night.
of talk this week, you can see it on media outlets, and I think 5 Live were doing it, and BT were talking about it, was who's the best striker in the Premier League. Harry Kane is on some serious amount of form.
Remember those people who said it was a one-season wonder?
Yeah.
Those people have been proved so badly wrong, but
yeah.
So Tottenham are away from home here. I can't say anything other than a few goals from Harry, despite how well Huddersfield have been going. Although I fancy that Huddersfield might get a goal.
I think they'll be close.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I'll write it down because we only one of us got one result right last week. I forgot to at the start.
A few times we were quite close.
Jake was closer than me in a lot of other games.
No, you got the exact scoreline right. Was there any results that people got? Did we get results as in who would win?
I think we did. I'll give you a little lowdown on what I got because I'm clearly a genius. I called Manchester City to win 5-0 against Roy Hodgson's sinking Palace. Yes, a couple of results. You got the Everton result right, or the fact that Everton would win. I think that was about it really, to be honest, Jake. I don't think, because we both called Swansea to beat Watford.
Did we call Arsenal to win? Yeah.
Yes, I called a draw and you said
4-0, I think.
4-0.
Yeah, well, 2-0 isn't it?
2-0, it's half a 4.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
We'll pay more attention this week. So Huddersfield, you're going with
I'm going for a Tottenham win 2-1.
Tottenham win 2-1, and I'm gonna go for Tottenham win 2-1 as well. So that'll do that. The next game is really, it's actually for both these teams, it's a massive game. Leicester and Bournemouth.
Craig Shakespeare might be starting to feel a little bit of pressure. Although they won last week against Liverpool in the Cup, he would have been wanting a big result in the Premier League there on Saturday.
Yeah, and he didn't get it because Coutinho turned up and started putting on a show. But Leicester have their top 10 team on paper, I think. Wes Morgan's still there, but Cassius Schmeichel's a good goalkeeper. Vardy and Mahrez up front, and Okazaki, Slimani. They're a good. They're top. They could make top 10 if they pulled it together. They're missing Drinkwater.
They're missing Drinkwater. They didn't get making that Andre and Silva signing confirmed.
He could come in here in January to a team that's plummeting very quickly.
And he might find it difficult to make an impact.
He might find it difficult. Bournemouth, on the other hand, Bournemouth remind me of, and I mean this in a nice way, they remind me of Arsenal, right? Eddie Howe, who I think is a good coach, he's obviously not in the Arsene Wenger's league, he's a good coach, well technically he's in his league, but that's different. They're not doing great. They're really, really struggling. They've shown glimpses in some games where they've looked good and they've got some results here and some results there, but they're 2-3 defeats here in a row away from really looking in big trouble, and not once does he seem to be in trouble himself.
Where is the leaders in that team?
They're not standing up.
There's
from last season.
You know, there are major issues in that team, and again it comes back to the point that I do not think they have spent wisely in the transfer window. You know, I just don't think they've done.
No, other teams have spent quite well. They're at their level, so to speak. But Bournemouth, I know they might have got you in the full, which is romantic and stuff, and they got him in, and it was a free transfer. He will get you the odd goal here and there, but even you just sort of in midfield as well. Harry Arter's hasn't had a brilliant season. What I've seen when he has been playing, and he would be one of the better players.
I just have real question marks about the mentality of that team. You know,
I heard a Bournemouth fan say the other day on a podcast that he actually enjoyed it more when they were in the Championship because they won more games. Which is a strange thing to say. And if that attitude's coming out of the fan base, you wonder what's coming out of the club.
As fans of sort of so-called big clubs that are guaranteed a place in the Premier League, where you're not under pressure every week, imagine how it would feel to be a fan of a club like that, where you're thinking that you're going to get relegated. It's really like the end of the world.
I don't know how they do it, and fair play to those fans that do it, like, and
still support,
still put the money in, but. We'll get round to it. Give me your prediction.
Ultimately, what do you think?
It's actually. I'm surprised it's not on TV. Because it actually, all this early in the season, it's huge for both teams. It really is pivotal. But in the international breaks, you get away for 2 weeks.
It's going through my mind, and I just can't see anything other than a Leicester win.
I think Leicester about 2 or 3-0.
It's hard because Leicester haven't been going great, and I expect Bournemouth for some sort of reaction. I'm actually going to go here with a draw.
A draw.
Yeah.
You'll say a draw.
I'm going to say 1-1.
1-1. I'm going to go 3-0 Leicester. Poor Roy Hodgson. I don't even mean that. I don't know why I said it. I don't mean poor Roy Hodgson at all. He's off to Old Trafford on Saturday.
Yeah, he's got a great run of fixtures to begin
to
return to your home club.
Welcome back, Roy.
The good thing is that he will be able to set aside the men from the boys in these fixtures. And when it comes round to games that Crystal Palace will be expecting and needing to win, he will know which players will be making the team sheet and which players will he'll be letting go in January. He'll know which ones will stand up.
He's going to let about 22 go in January. By the looks of it.
Well, it's difficult, but I've really fear for them, and I think this is going to be a whopping.
I think
they did very well. They did very well.
44 minutes.
They did very well.
Yeah, they contained them. Loftus-Cheek, by the way, I don't know if Chelsea, what way that deal went, or what's the story, if there's a buyback, is he on loan? I can't remember. But Loftus-Cheek,
he's on loan.
As bad as they have been this season, every game I've seen Palace or highlights of games, he has always been their standout player. Yeah. He was superb at Anfield against Liverpool. He set up and he should have scored. He should have scored himself. He was brilliant in midfield. You're sort of looking at him going, Klopp, just nab him at the end of the match and put him in the Melwood and we'll get him playing in a couple of games. So there is that, but I think Manchester United another 4-5-0. Lukaku will go to town. I think we've just seen a penalty in the Atletico Madrid Chelsea game. Jake's trying not to celebrate, by the way, Brendan Pat, just let you know. Like, I have a bit more dignity. I'll wait till the video's over and I'll go daft when Atletico score. Well, if Atletico score here, we'll celebrate. But yeah, I quite like this actually, that we do a video when there's a game on in the background. It is nice. I enjoy it because then we can talk to you, and then if something's happened, we can enjoy this as well. Manchester United, I think by about 4. I'm gonna go for
Manchester United 5-0.
If you've gone 5, I've gone 4. I'll just put a 4 and a 5 down because we'll know the crack. Another sort of game of Griezmann stepping and take this penalty, so we'll just sort of 1-0. Griezmann puts it away and he does a little woo! Brendan will love it when he sees this here. Jake's trying to celebrate, but I just did, I don't care. Brendan, he's our Chelsea comrade, and he helped design our website, and he donated that Chelsea top. But they're getting beat now, Jake's fucking laugh at him because he's not here. Even though he's bigger than us, but who cares? So, there you are. It's 1-0 to Atletico Madrid. We've gone 4-5 in the Manchester United Crystal Palace game.
Stoke City Southampton.
Yeah, what do you think? Stoke are really strange this year. Their ground doesn't look as
threatening.
It reminds you of something like a Tim Burton cartoon film, wouldn't it? What do you call that one, The Nightmare Before Christmas? Yeah, that's how I used to be reminded of Britannia. That's what it used to remind me of. Something like that there, just like zombies walking around and the place just being cowed and barren. And now it's all lovely and stuff because they try and play a bit of football and different things, and Tony Pulis has gone down the road to West Brom.
And as I said, Jesse still hasn't scored since he scored the winner against Arsenal.
No, as long as he scores the winner at the Emirates,
it's going to be a 2-goal season by the looks of things for him if he does score the winner at the Emirates. Southampton are also in a poor shape. But these games here, whoever gets the 3 points, it will give them a massive lift. I'm actually going to go for Stoke.
I'm going for Southampton. And I think Southampton were very, very unlucky that they didn't get something out of it.
I watched that
second
game.
Half, see that Lamina? When Liverpool sign him next year,
he looks superb.
Obviously,
he looks superb.
He looks very, very good.
Yeah.
He looks very good.
Now, Southampton played very well, but they're playing with a striker in Shane Long who hasn't scored in 16 games. That's not going to win you Premier League games. You need Manolo Gabbiadini on there, and because he's a goal scorer and he will get you the goal, Shane Long just looks completely out of sorts.
He looks no confidence in front of goal.
But and the more 90-minute games he goes without getting a goal, the more pressure.
Yeah, big time.
But I still think here that Stoke will get the win at home.
You think Stoke will win at home?
Kurt Zuma to come back in.
Yeah,
You know,
badly missed last weekend.
he's made a big difference since he signed from Chelsea on loan.
I'm gonna go with a 2-1 win for Southampton.
Who's to score the winner?
I think Steve Davis will score.
Right.
And I think I'm not kind of, to be honest, and a scrappy goal. I'll go with Tadic penalty. Something wild. I'll just go with a prediction of Tadic penalty.
Well, I think that as I said, Stoke will score, and I think it'll be a 2-0 victory.
2-0 to the Stoke. I go 2-1. West Brom Watford.
Marco Silva's doing a superb job. Apart from the 6-0 defeat by Man City, well, it should really be 4-0 because 2 of their goals are offside.
Plus, they should have really scored 3 themselves.
Yeah, they did, and you see that proves it. They had chances.
Maybe.
Watford had chances. Chelsea will win.
There you are. Well, he's gone back to that.
Yeah, no, it'll be a draw, I think. But yes, in this game, Watford away from home, they've just come from beating Swansea at the Liberty, and Swansea are not looking strong enough at the Liberty. The sort of home form you're going to need to stay up. I'm going to go for a Watford win here at West Brom.
West Brom, for being so solid defensively, they've shipped, is it 4 and 2, 6 goals in the last 2 games, or is it 2 in the League Cup as well? So
what about Richarlison for Watford?
I know, looks really good.
Yeah, he looks superb, and he's got. I know it deflected in the Liverpool game, but that got them a draw in that game, and he's got 2 winning goals.
Yeah.
So he's won them quite a few points.
That was a really big result for the Watford fans. You could see afterwards on the BT Premier League show, the Watford fans that were talking and stuff, and they were sending their videos. They were absolutely buzzing and made up with that because of the journey home stuff, and to get that win, really good win for them. Marco Silva seems to know his onions.
He knows how to set up a team, and
he
that's
does.
Why I'm going for Watford 2-1 win.
Yeah, I'm going to echo that. 2-1 win to Watford. And Richarlison to score again.
Why not?
I know, brilliant. I really like Marco Silva too.
There's something that I admire about him.
Yeah.
It's just something that's endearing.
Yeah.
And I hope he does well.
West Ham against Swansea, another huge. How do these teams manage to get themselves into huge, almost relegation battlers? I don't know.
Swansea seem to be better away from home.
Maybe it's not the pressure, the home pressure.
They did very well at Wembley.
Very, very well. Another big ground they're going to be going to now. Big soulless ground.
Is this going to be a weekend of away wins, perhaps?
Interesting, could be.
Or, well, a few away wins.
Watford is mainly away wins.
Mainly.
I'm going to go for a draw on this.
I'm going to go for a nothing draw as well.
A 0-0 draw?
No, we'll go for a 1-1.
1-1 draw.
Boney to score his first goal for them.
Hopefully he gets off and running again. I've already spoken about Chelsea Man City. It's going to be 2-0. That's a nice little Saturday night game.
We'll talk about the classiest team in the league. Arsenal.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to fire this out. I was talking to my dad about it, and I was talking to one of our friends, Andrew, about it. I think the Premier League should try and have their biggest games of the weekend at 5:30 on a Saturday.
Why?
I just think there's something about it. I just think it's brilliant.
Is it just the darkness?
I don't know what it is.
Floodlight pitch.
I don't know what it is. I don't know where it's come from in my head. I just really like the idea that the biggest game so far this season, because I know they played Arsenal and they played Man City, and there were 2 big games. The biggest game, really and truly, the 2 main contenders, or 2 of the 3 main contenders, because our teams, we think, are the best teams in the world, but we know they're maybe not going to win the league if we're honest. Atletico Madrid just scored a simple goal there. 2 real contenders playing, and it's playing on Saturday night at 5:30, and I think that's brilliant.
The thing about it is it's great because after a day of football you're sort of getting yourself settled and then you sit down for a mammoth encounter.
Yeah, I think it's nice as well for the lads that are playing football in the amateur leagues and playing at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. They get to come in for their pints or whatever, for the dinner, for just to go home
and watch
and that game's on.
The masters that they're going to try and replicate the next Saturday.
Exactly. We will talk about Arsenal. They're at home to Brighton.
Home to Brighton. Another opportunity to get 3 points.
Lacazette will score because he loves scoring at home.
He loves scoring at home, and I must say, other than scoring, his performance was pretty dull.
Has he played well yet in a game? Has he? But he scored.
He scored 4 goals.
Would you say a bit like Lukaku then?
I would. A bit like Lukaku, maybe, only not as proven obviously in the Premier League, so he has that to do, but I would say that Giroud offers more of those little 1-2s that excite Arsenal fans. Those opportunities which are just created where he flicks maybe to Ozil and that, when they came on the other night against West Brom, although at that stage Arsenal were 2-0 up, but these little flicks that Arsenal fans have grown used to and that has them on the edge of their seats. And you don't get that with Lacazette really. You know, he's more of a man to finish off the chance. And without Ozil in the team, the other night, chances were few and far between at times. You know,
Arsenal won.
Bellerin was Arsenal's most potent threat down the right hand side.
He's one of your better players too. I like.
He's coming back into a little bit of form. He dipped there for a while.
Arsenal won again against West Brom, but they didn't look great. So they didn't. Is that worrying?
Not really, because what I think, I just think it was one of those games. Maybe is it the hangover from this Europa League, and they've now played every single week. They've played a midweek game, whether it be Europa League or Carling Cup.
And they will do, I think, for a wee while when they come back from the national break. I think they'll play every week.
You know, so maybe there's that in it too. They play tomorrow night. They're in Belarus, Bate Borisov, which is a massive game and a big distance to travel. The good thing is that Arsenal have pretty much two teams at the minute, one for midweek and one for the weekend. He'll maybe give Ozil a game tomorrow night because he was injured and he only came on at the weekend on Monday night, so he might get a few minutes.
I think he's missed Iwobi on Monday night.
Yeah.
He's missed something. I don't think he's missed...
That bit of directness. You know, he's coming back into a nice bit of form, and I know lots of people say, oh, cheapers, don't harp on
Go for it.
Jack Wilshere.
It's nice to see him come back in and play a bit.
I really like him. Remember the goal he got a few seasons ago, him and Giroud?
Yeah, boom,
against
boom.
Norwich.
Yeah.
John Ruddy. It was an absolute superb. Like he is a very good player.
He's got a good football brain. You hope that the Bournemouth loan and maybe he's got over the injuries as well. You hope he's woken up. You just hope.
You hope something is triggered there that he's got beyond those sort of barriers. But the thing that he needs to learn maybe is not to take the tackle, not to take the ball into the tackle just so much, because a lot of his injuries come from that.
Yeah.
So he just needs to slip it that wee bit quicker.
Release it.
But he's very.
I don't think he's missed Ozil as much as I thought he would have. I think he's a very good footballer. So he missed parts of his game, but I think I don't think he'll have made much of a difference to Arsenal performances. Do you know what I mean with that? I just think I
think it'll be a big game on Sunday against Brighton. I think we'll win 4-0.
4-0 against Brighton. Even they went up and beat Newcastle.
No, that was at Brighton.
Well, sorry, they beat Newcastle, right? Which we didn't see that one. But
no, I fancy Arsenal to win.
No. Everton Burnley.
What do you fancy for that?
Oh, sorry for the Arsenal. I fancy. I still worry a little tiny bit about Arsenal, not as much as I worry about my own team.
West Brom had a lot of chances.
They did have a lot of chances.
Could have a penalty.
Jay Rodriguez could have a penalty. Very honest, I like Jay Rodriguez. I like to see him doing well after his injury. There's a couple. There's not Gregoria hoofed it down the pitch the way he went. Looked good. Got into the box. It was Jay Rodriguez again, wasn't it? And they should have scored. Yeah, I do worry a little tiny bit about Arsenal. As I said about 2 minutes ago, I worry more about Liverpool. I think we're more of a shambles at the back. I think we're a bit better going forward. I do worry that Arsenal there's just something doesn't feel right. Seeing like something it's like the cog is moving part. It seems like sort of everything's sticking or it's breaking down at some point, and I can't really pinpoint where.
I just think it'll take. They'll come into their own as long as they keep picking up 3 points.
You know, I'm not a huge fan of Giroud, but I think Arsenal need to try and get Giroud, Sanchez, and Lacazette on the pitch at the same time, and try and get something working there. Maybe you drop Lacazette or Sanchez behind those two.
Yeah,
but
I would love to see Lacazette and Giroud working together, you know. But Giroud is a great player, and a lot of fans don't give him the credit that he deserves.
I just don't like his face. I don't know what it is. I just don't know. He's one of those faces that I just do not agree with.
But he's a player that Arsenal rely a lot on, and they'll win at the weekend. Everton Burnley.
Tasty game.
Very tasty.
Batman against Ronald Koeman. Sean Dyche would scare you, wouldn't he, if you walked down a dark alley when he started talking at you? Yes, two managers that their stocks are sort of. Koeman's stock was way up here because it was playing days, and then things happened at Valencia and it started coming down, different things. And then he had a good one at Southampton. Then the last year or two at Everton, the stocks come a wee bit down. Sean Dyche's has gone up. So there's sort of two managers sort of almost at the same sort of level now.
Despite the names.
Despite the names, yeah. If you take away the names, like, and that makes me sound.
Koeman here has been made to eat his own words. He said in the summer transfer of 2016, he said that if Nias likes to play football, he needs to leave Everton. Well, without Nias last weekend, it could have been Ronald Koeman leaving Everton because he scored 2 very important
I was
goals.
delighted. Yeah, you just heard Liverpool fans say delighted that Everton scored goals. I was listening to it on the radio, and when Nias came on, I read that article that Nias, that interview that he did in The Guardian, where he talked about how basically, and you know all this, it's all been spoken, how he wasn't given a locker, he was told where to go, he didn't have a future at the club.
£13.5 million signing this
yeah.
was.
Yeah, and you have heard managers have done that before when they've gone into clubs where they've gone, you're not my signing, I need to make a point and you're going to be my scapegoat. It's happened time and time again. There's a player in my head that Klopp sort of did something similar with. It wasn't Benteke, might have been Benteke actually. The sort of Balotelli he binned off.
Was it Mamadou Sakho?
Sakho as well, he got rid of. You hear of managers doing that to make the point. And when Nias came on, he scored. I was delighted for him, and he won the game for him. He's become a bit of a cult hero for Everton overnight, and it's brilliant for him because you don't want to. You feel sorry for him, those sort of situations, that sort of way. And I don't think he is the answer for Everton. I don't think he'll propel them to 7th.
No, he mightn't propel them into that sort of bracket that they want to be in, but he's a striker that offers something that none of the other players that
he looks like he was the only one on the pitch that was going to score.
Yeah.
I know Calvert-Lewin's quite young, and I think Calvert-Lewin will be steady footballer. I don't think he'll be an elite level footballer. I don't think he'll finish his career at Everton, Calvert-Lewin. He'll do a decent enough job, but I think Niasse is going to do quite well, and it takes a wee bit of pressure off Wayne Rooney as well. If someone else is there, he's expecting to score all those goals, and he's just not going to now, and Niasse's on. So they do have him in now. It'd be interesting to see if Koeman plays him. They have a game tomorrow night, in the Europa League. I can't remember who they're playing. I think they're in Cyprus as well, I think. So it'll be interesting. Michael Keane's playing against his old team. Burnley are not better than what people think. I know they parked the bus at Anfield and they came away with a 1-1 draw, and that was brilliant for them. But when they went to Chelsea, they had no intention of parking a bus and just coming away with a draw. And they showed they can go do that. The same as with Spurs, didn't they get a draw with Spurs? And they shut Spurs down. Yes, they
got a draw in the last minute. Chris Wood
Chris Wood came on and scored. I fancy Burnley for this one. I know Niasse scored the other day, and there's a bit of a good 5 at Everton in the minute, and they might win tomorrow night, which will carry it on. But they are playing tomorrow night in Cyprus, and they do not have a big enough squad.
No, they don't. We've spoken about this.
And they were thumped in the last game. So Koeman has to look at this and say, last game in the Europa League, is Europa League, am I going to take this serious? Which I think they should. I think any team that's in it should take the Europa League serious, but that's because I love it. And if he takes it serious and he puts a strong team out, they're not finishing up till late tomorrow night, and then they're playing Sunday lunchtime. And I think legs will be heavy. And Burnley have a week's break at the minute. I can see Burnley, and I can see them winning quite comfortably at Goodison Park.
That's a big call. I'm actually going to go for a draw here with this one. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
A 1-1 draw. I fancy Burnley by 2 or 3.
Big call.
Only because of the Europa League game during the week. I know Everton had a win and brilliant for them. Despite me being a Liverpool fan, I actually do not want to see them come out of the league or anything like that. I will say it the old time when they annoy me, but I like having Everton there for the derby. And some of their fans I'm quite friendly with and stuff. So, but I think they'll be busted from tomorrow night because they can't lose tomorrow night. They have to win tomorrow night.
Given the defeat they suffered against Atlanta.
Unless Koeman, I haven't even seen the squad he's taken with them. He goes over and he says, you know what, the Europa League, I'm not really bothered about that, and they're a bit more fresher for Sunday. Then in between, if we change my prediction, then I think they could maybe do something. But I just fancy Burnley. I fancy Burnley to go on and make a bit more of a statement as to how well they're doing.
Fair enough, but Rafa against the great pretender who seeks to be the new Rafa of the Liverpool fans' hearts against Klopp on Sunday afternoon.
Ajax against Old. Rafa also won 2 league titles in his homeland. Klopp won 2 league titles in his homeland. And then Rafa came to us obviously and won us the European Cup and should have won us the league, but everybody knows if they watched this before, I'm a humongous Rafa Benitez fan. Liverpool, if you'd seen the game last night, I think Liverpool, by the way, I didn't mention, they've had 121 chances in 6 games. Is it 6 games? Yeah, 6 games, and they've only scored, I don't know, it's not that many goals.
They were shot shy of
6
but
goals.
that proves that they're also just simply a top goal scorer shy.
Yeah.
Of going to the next level.
I'm looking forward to Sunday. I think Liverpool will win. I think they'll go off in an international break with 3 points and a wee bit closer to what's going on the top of the league. And I also think they'll get a clean sheet, which is the biggest statement Liverpool could make right now. If you watched the match last night, Spartak Moscow had no real intention of trying to score, but any time that players took a notion to try and go up the field, Henderson and Lovren and Matip all worked together, which is what I've been wanting to see as a three. Henderson in front of them, and they shut everything down, and they were very comfortable and they were very solid, and that's what we want to see from our two centre halves. The goalkeeper doesn't do himself any favours with a free kick, but it's what we want to see, and I just thought that they were much more solid. I don't think Newcastle, and this might come back and bite me in the ass, I don't think Newcastle will cause them as much problems as what they were caused by Leicester, certainly Man City, Hoffenheim, Arsenal at times. I don't see it. I know Newcastle had that good game at Atsu and Richie, I think Liverpool can close them down and go off and get it. But my worry is that if Klopp goes with a 4 again and he has Coutinho at the left hand side of midfield, that we're going to leave Alberto Moreno wide open to get attacked, and that might cost us a goal. Because it happened last night. Coutinho drifted in just because that he was looking for the ball, drifted in, and the whole left hand side was completely wide open because Mane isn't as great as tracking back the way Salah is on the other side, and Spartak Moscow just didn't have a notion of trying to attack us, or another team could have really put serious pressure on them.
Yeah, they could have really put you to the sword. I agree that Newcastle maybe don't have the potential to do that. However, they are a Premier League team, and they have created a lot of chances recently in games, although they got beat at Brighton. The one player to watch here, I would say, for Newcastle is Marino, that they brought
yeah.
I watched him last week for the first half against Brighton, and he was a bright spark in what was quite a dull game. He's a nice player to watch.
He's classy, isn't he, for a young player? He seems to have a good sort of football brain on him.
He does.
He's keeping Shelby out of the team as well, as we said before. I really do like Marino, so I'm looking to see him. So I hope he doesn't have a brilliant game, but I'm looking to see him play on Sunday.
What do you fancy the scoreline to be?
I'm going to go for a 3-0 Liverpool away.
I would have to agree. I think I'll go 3-1.
And I would like to see the Liverpool team. I would like to see Firmino rested. And I would like to see Solanke on the bench. I think they should start with Sturridge, and I'd like to see Solanke come on. I think it's a game where he can come on. He should have scored against Crystal Palace. He was very unlucky, or Burnley, very unlucky.
He needs to get off the mark.
He needs to get off the mark. I think he could be a sort of player. He's very young. I think he could be a player that could really go into.
Take off like Rashford, perhaps.
Yeah, you would hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of the best young players in world football at the minute. But I think he is an attacking. He's a number 9. He's a centre forward, and I think Liverpool could really do with him coming in. Just seeing the scores are flashed up here. Manchester United 3-0 up. Celtic are 1-0 up. It's a good result for them so far. PSG are beating Bayern 2-0. Roma 2-1 against Karabag. Juventus 0-0, and Basel and Benfica 2-0. Did you see Barcelona in there? Oh, Barcelona 0-0 against Sporting. Just before we go, as I sort of said near the start of the video, we now have our own website.
Yeah.
The Sports Babble blog at wordpress.com. You'll see the links on it, and we'll keep promoting it so you can all see it. There's going to be articles coming up. I'm going to do the first one hopefully tomorrow, which will be Thursday. I'll type it up and have it up Friday night, Saturday morning. It's going to be on Fernando Torres. He joined Liverpool 10 years ago. I moved to Liverpool 10 years ago. He moved because I moved, basically. And I'll talk about that tomorrow night, or on the
match made in heaven.
The match made in heaven. I loved him. What he's going to do Monday night?
Watch Real
Oviedo. Vamos Oviedo. You'll get that online. Keep following us on Twitter at the Sports Babble. You see us on Facebook at the Sports Babble, and check out our videos. There'll be links up on our website. You really check it out. It's going to have our podcast, which is this, and our videos. And
make sure to savour that game 5:30 on Saturday.
5:30 on Saturday. Get down and sit down in front of TV and enjoy it. I'll see you all next week.
Good luck.
Vamos!